Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 17 17 700. Talking Scottish football first.
Good evening. There's a magic in the air. It's the Scottish Cup weekend. As you know, it kicks off tonight. Falkirk against Dundee United. Tomorrow, Dunfermline against the holders Aberdeen. That's 7:30 tomorrow evening. And then on Sunday, 1 o'clock, Rangers against Celtic. And then Sunday evening, 7:30, St Mirren against Partick Thistle. Well, our two pundits tonight know all about Scottish Cup victories. Andy Walker's shining up his medal at the moment from 1988. Andy's here. And so too is Barry Ferguson, who won it, 5 times, Barry, with Rangers?
Yeah, five times. We were just talking off air there. I actually had a look at them last week. I actually cleaned them last week.
What did you use?
Brasso.
Oh, Brasso. See, there you are.
There you go. So I took them out my mum and dad's and they'll go back up there.
What did they look like when you took them out? Look a wee bit?
No, do you know what? You actually open them up and think, did okay in your career. Lucky enough to win 15 trophies up in Scotland. And obviously the reason why you're asking about Scottish Cup, because it's Scottish Cup weekend. So 5 Scottish Cups. It was a trophy as a young kid. You always were desperate to watch the final. So lucky enough to win it 5 times. Younger
Rangers fans, it may happen again, but Barry won 5 Scottish Cups, 5 League Cups, and 5 titles or thereabouts. It's been a long time since that's been the run for Rangers, but Barry is obviously hoping that that's going to change this weekend, moving on. Andy, since I last saw you, actually I saw you and Rob and Mark on the other evening from Aberdeen. I was up there for Kilt Walk Business, really enjoyed the programme, so I've got a lot to live up to tonight, Barry. They were great.
Rob was in good form,
wasn't he? He knows his stuff. What about that Celtic? It's a massive game for Celtic to take the 3 points. Bit of controversy, but overall they're back down the road with another 3.
And obviously the injury pre-match that allowed Ben Arthur to come in and make his debut and everyone saw him. I thought he played really well. It would have been interesting to see what Dane Murray would have coped with after his mistake last week in the league game. But in all honesty, I thought he recovered pretty well in the game and looked as though he just needs more game time to become a better player. But it's the same thing this Sunday. The quarter-final is played to a finish. And my goodness, as much as Barry's talking about Rangers doing so well in the first half, Celtic were equally as impressive in the second half. And thankfully, they ended up getting a point.
Barry, so much to talk about tonight. We haven't seen you either because of family matters. Been a busy week for you. We haven't seen you since the Old Firm game. What about the Celtic result the other night, though? They're now second top of the table. Are Rangers still in it? Will Celtic do it, or do you think now it is champions elect the Hearts?
No, I'm still maintaining what I said a few weeks ago. I think even Motherwell, don't rule Motherwell out. If they get the win at the weekend, they're right in it as well. So but I believe it's still going to get right down to the wire. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And in terms of Celtic going to Aberdeen, it wasn't a classic, but you know what? It's all about getting to 3 points, and that's what Celtic done. They done enough to get it. I didn't think they were under any severe pressure at any time, apart from the last minute or two. Aberdeen had a couple of corner kicks, but I felt Celtic deserved to win.
Yeah, it's all about the Cup this weekend. Falkirk, what a night for them against Dundee United. Dunfermline tomorrow against the Dons. Rangers Celtic on Sunday at 1 o'clock. 7,500 Celtic fans there, and obviously 45,000 Rangers fans. It's the way it should be, Andy, isn't it?
Oh, I'm just so pleased that just the thought of the spectacle, having that full Broomloan Road stand. I mean, I can remember going there with my brothers to watch a few Old Firm games. Just a privilege to play in a Celtic team that could go there and win games, playing some brilliant fixtures. And I think it just sells Scottish football really well. It's our showpiece occasion. And it's a great shame that this is what the clubs want now. They don't want a sizable away support. I don't think we're going to get back to it unless they're drawn again in the Cup, which has its own Cup rules competitions for tickets. Then I don't think we're going back to it, which is a great pity.
This could go to extra time, couldn't it? But Andy, you prefer the way it used to be, which was...
Yeah, I love a replay.
A replay.
I know that so much now is based on European football and everyone has to be ready for European football and we play too often.
Nobody's in European football anymore.
I don't think we play too often.
Yeah.
We've got 38 league games, and I like the Scottish Cup having a replay. Maybe I'm just being old-fashioned, but
I think so.
I think there's a great there's a great celebration about it. There's a great anticipation about getting a replay and getting it on. If you're drawn at the weekend, getting it on the Wednesday night.
Barry, have you got a view? What would you do?
Well, Andy says old school. Yeah, I'm a bit like that as well. I'm old-fashioned. I actually really enjoyed the replay. What are you laughing at, old-fashioned?
And the gear's okay. What he's wearing is fine.
You're starting to go to the same shops as me. Unbelievable. No, I didn't mind a replay. But listen, I can't wait for the game on Sunday. Look, I thought it was a brilliant spectacle last week. I thought Rangers were different class in the first half. Celtic adjusted at half time, and when Kieran Tierney get that goal back at 2-1, Celtic put Rangers under a lot of pressure. So it'll be interesting to see what both managers do, what way they approach it, and what selections they pick.
What you thinking ahead of the game? Give us a call, 0808 17 17 700. In the other game, St Mirren against Partick Thistle. It's a worry, Andy, isn't it, with the Saints result the other night at Tannadice. So we'll talk about that during the programme. And Partick Thistle, could they be through to the final? Barry's still laughing. Have you got me barred from another place then, is it? I'm not allowed in, Marks and Spencer.
No, you're not allowed into Marks and Spencer.
You'll be suited and booted and all that, won't you?
No, listen. But I can tell you're battering it, and that's what you're doing. It's worrying. It's worrying. You know what I mean?
0808 17 17 700. A lawyer should call me now to bail me out here with Barry for the club. But he's looking, if you're watching on YouTube, Andy as well, you the one that said about maybe old fashioned, Andy, you're looking pretty tidy yourself here tonight. So it's the fashion police.
But I don't buy gear. Right. Carol buys all my gear.
Let's hear from both of the managers. Danny Röhl was asked about the 7,500 opposing fans being there, along with a full house of Rangers fans.
Of course we have an impact. If we play 50 minutes like we did, then the 7,500 will also quite. I think this is the part in the game, we feel it, we can influence, we can make the impact on our performance on the pitch, and the atmosphere was incredible, 50 minutes, really incredible, was amazing to feel this. We pushed our players forward. And then it comes to 2-1, and then you feel it in the stadium as well. Yeah, but this is also part of the game. Maybe we can do it together. That we come also through this small minutes where you feel, the opponent comes a bit better into the game. But this 50 minutes was really, really, really outstanding. I really enjoyed this to be in the touchline in such a game.
Barry, so he touches on a few things there, including, there's a big opposition fans there, but if Rangers score, they're going to be quiet. On the other hand, they could help Celtic.
Yep, and again, that's another thing I'm looking forward to, 7,500 Celtic fans being at Ibrox. But the challenge to this Rangers team is, there was no doubt they were outstanding in the first half and probably the first 5 minutes of the second half, but the challenge has to be, can you do it for a longer period of time? And you notice the difference when Kieran Tierney got that goal back, as I mentioned. Felt that they suffered a bit, Rangers, where you need real leaders on the pitch to, listen, it happens in football, just calm down a wee bit and get back to what they were doing. But at times you've got to give the opposition credit. But the challenge to the Rangers team is, you've shown that you can play at a level. Can you do it for 90 minutes now?
Did it put a bit of doubt in your mind then? Because at half-time, I read your column this morning in the Record. You said, look, I knew it wasn't over at half-time. Rangers looked as though they were not cruising, but they were well ahead. Should have been maybe 3, maybe 4.
I had the feeling, Paul, at half-time, for all Rangers were in control of the game, you still got to respect the opponent, and you know what was going to happen for that 10-15 minute period inside the Celtic dressing room. Martin O'Neill clearly wasn't going to be happy. He was clearly going to make changes to the team, and Rangers didn't adjust as well as Celtic did.
That's mentality though, isn't it? The players themselves maybe? Or was it a tactical?
Listen, they've shown that they have the mentality. They went to Celtic Park when Celtic dominated the full first half, and they come back. Obviously Rangers made the changes and it made a difference to the Rangers team in the second half. I wouldn't put it down to mentality. I would put it down to having a bit of calmness when the opposition score. They become a bit flustered, and obviously the fans. You hear with the noise round about the stadium when Celtic get that goal back. There sets a bit of panic within the team, and that's when you need natural leaders within the team to drive it forward.
And the fans weren't happy at the end, Barry. It felt like a defeat for them, and they turned a little bit. I mean, the place was bouncing at half time, but they were so disappointed. Were you surprised at the fans?
No, I think they were just so disappointed the way it ended, because it was right at the death when obviously Hatate scored the penalty. Well, the thing that would disappoint me was Jack Butland, great save, Jack Butland, another save, and it was Maid and Hatate who were first to the ball.
Where's the defenders?
Yeah, that's the thing that would concern myself, if I've been brutally honest.
Andy, here's Martin.
No, I was going to say it's a good job. Maida didn't touch it. I mean, I think there was encroachment from him, but it didn't impact on Rio Hatate, the taker. And it's not often you see that, very rarely. Third attempt to get it over the line, but what a big goal it was.
The allocation for the first time in many, many years is different. 7,500 Celtic fans. Martin O'Neill was asked about that today.
That would be nice, really, really nice. You know, I've been from a distance, not that my voice is anything, but I've been advocating for it to happen for both clubs to open up again, because it is a fantastic fixture, and it's made even much, much better because of the full allocation. I know I don't want to go back into yesteryear, all that type of stuff, but those fixtures were really something special, and I still think they are. And if the clubs could agree and get back to full allocation for away fans, it would be terrific. But this will be a test anyway.
It'll mean nothing if they play the way they did in the first half last weekend.
Yeah, I mean, just on that point with Martin O'Neill, I wish he would go up to the boardroom and say that to them, because it's what the managers, the coaches, on both sides, it's what the players want on both sides, and it's a great pity that the clubs don't want it, and I can't see us ever going back to it. But I think with regard to the game, obviously Celtic got out of jail, got into half-time last week at Ibrox, only 2 goals down, and for a while it looked as though it could have been embarrassing, but all credit to Celtic, the changes with Tunetke and Hatate coming on. It just, I mean, I was really surprised that Rangers didn't double up on Tunetke. He was carrying the ball, 30, 40 yards, a good number of times, and, just making things happen, putting Rangers on the back foot. And Hatate, his passing was great. I don't think anyone really expected him to be on top form, because he hasn't been for a number of weeks, but it just shows you the ability that he's got.
It's going to be some game on Sunday. Celtic, this will be their 4th game in 10 days, Andy. So all the way from home.
All the way from home, and that is a really tough ask. They might have picked up 1 or 2 injuries, but you're getting into a phase now where if you can get through this quarter-final tie, things should become a bit easier, just the 1 game a week now, between now and the end of the season, and you can almost think about the glory of winning the cup, just 1 step away from the final.
Let's get the injury update first from Martin O'Neill.
A couple of niggles. Kieran for a start, although the injury had to his foot is actually clearing up, but he's just generally sore in every aspect. So we'll see how he is tomorrow. And but generally speaking, he's done fabulous for us. And now that he's getting back to almost like complete fitness, which is great. Thank you. That's good. And we'll see Casper trained today, first time. Trained first time since the injection, first time since he's better. So we'll see how he is tomorrow as well too. But young goalkeeper's done really fine for us as well too. So who else is there? Yeah. A couple of other bumps and bruises, but we're trying to get through it.
And the Rangers team news, Danny Röhl.
We have full house in the training at the moment. Everyone is nearly back. Small issues with Mikey, but I think this should be okay for the weekend. There's a lot of players available, and this is again also some tough decisions. It's not just the lineup, but also who is in the squad, and I have to make my decisions tomorrow after the training.
Andy, on Celtic, Sinisalo, what a save he had the other night.
Yeah, I think he's a cert to play at the weekend. There's no need for Kasper Schmeichel to come back if he's been struggling of late. He's certainly been struggling with his form. So Sinisalo, he's not made any mistakes, maybe one or two issues with his kicking, but he looks strong, looks confident. Obviously, Dane Murray was injured in the warm-up at Pittodrie. But when Ben Arthur came in and no one's really seen him, I thought he looked strong and confident. Someone who's obviously pretty dynamic in the air, but looks as though he's got a bit of ability with the ball at his feet. And that's what you need at Celtic, especially the way they play. You need to be able to make a forward pass, and that's maybe something he can do.
Barry, any Rangers news there that you picked up on?
No, it's a full house, as he said. Everybody's fit, so the manager's got big decisions to make. That's what you want as a manager. You want everybody fully fit. It'll be interesting to see if he sticks with the same team it started, or will he make a change?
What do you think?
Personally, I think he might stick with the team that he went against Celtic last Sunday. But I would go with a flat three and bring Diomande in and put Mikey Moore in behind, Nadiri and Chermiti.
I read you in the paper this morning saying that.
Would you ever, as a manager, when you were at Rangers, do you ever say to anyone who was on the bench, okay, you're not starting, but I'm definitely going to put you on with, 20, 30 minutes to go, you'll get your game time?
No, just in case it didn't happen. Because you need to, listen, it depends on how the game's going. You might have to change. You might say that to a midfielder, but you might need to bring a defender on. So, no, they would know the starting 11 the day before the game. That's
I can remember Billy doing it with me, and I remember our days we only had two subs,
sure.
and that was even before you had a goalie sub.
It's a long time ago,
I feel
isn't
as though
it?
I'm about 100 speaking like that. But no, I can remember Big Billy saying, you're not playing, but I'll definitely bring you on with half an hour to go. And he did. I mean, obviously you can't legislate for injuries to here, there and everywhere, but
I think it's harder, Andy, now with the amount of players you've got on the bench. That's the difficult thing. If you're going to leave somebody out, they're obviously going to be down. They're going to be angry, frustrated. But I don't think I would go and say, listen, you're going to be coming on 20, 30 minutes to go. You just need to see how the game's panning out.
Let's get some cup final memories as well. What's it like to win a cup final? Because also, whoever goes out on Sunday, it could be season over. Right? Nobody's going to say it is just now. But Hearts, even here in Glasgow zone, you start to think, could well be going to Edinburgh. It's theirs to throw away. And Derek McInnes, the Scotland guy in charge over there, and the neutrals, if there are such a thing.
Well, I think Hearts have got the man in charge that will say all the right things about trying to win these games. And as everyone will tell you who's won a league title, at this stage when everything's so tight, every game is difficult. You cannot be guaranteed, you're playing even, Aberdeen, who are the worst in terms of form at the moment. Livingston, I mean, my God, who would have believed Livingston could have taken a point from Rangers a couple of weeks ago? So you can't take anything for granted. You really need to be up for it every week. And it just remains to be seen who gets over the line.
Let's hear Danny Röhl speaking about his thirst, his hunger to win a trophy, just in general in football, and what it would mean to him and the club.
Yeah, as a Ranger manager, you have to. As a club, you have to. With these ambitions, we have to. I take it also not as an excuse that we come from 13 points in behind. This is part of the job. We took them to 2 points close. I think we noticed the last 2 results, 2 draws was for me unnecessary when I compare the results with the performance. And we have a great opportunity on Sunday to make a good step in first title maybe.
This is cup final, Barry, would you say, given that Rangers are third position now? I know I heard what you said earlier on, but
I think it's such an important game. And I know you get asked the question about, I know it doesn't matter because it's a Scottish Cup and it's not the league, but I believe it will give you a massive boost of confidence whoever wins this game. I think it could kick you on for the league campaign as well.
Yeah, he was asked that.
Yeah, at first the winner goes in the semi-final and you are close to go in the final. I think this is the most important thing. But it's another competition. I understand your question that you say, if you win, then maybe it's influenced this, but no, this game influenced just that you go in the semi-final or not. That influenced that you have a chance for a title or not. And after this game is fully focused until the international break to the league, and we have to do our homework. I think it's 2 games with St. Mirren and Aberdeen, and then we will see where we are, and then it will be exciting.
2 sides to that argument, and it could go either way. It could kick you on, or it could actually.
Well, it could be really devastating, and I think especially for Danny Röhl, I'm surprised the amount of noise from Rangers fans about criticism towards the manager, who's pretty much got them in a challenging position when they looked dead and buried. But that is the nature of what happens in Glasgow. Things can turn so quickly, and if Rangers were to lose at the weekend, there would be questions asked of the manager as to, why for the second week in a row couldn't he beat, a Celtic side that are playing Saturday, Wednesday, and you just can't get the job done. I think for Celtic, if they lose, they've still got that prize of the title. I mean, I totally accept that Hearts are favourites, but I've seen it before. Celtic are capable of winning 9 games in a row, 9 league games in a row. They've done it before.
Barry, you mentioned it there. It could go either way. What's your sense of it? Do Rangers need to win it that little bit more than Celtic?
No, I wouldn't say they need to win it more than Celtic. You've got to concentrate on number 1. I'm just a big believer in it builds momentum. Honestly, believe that. Any result. And I know it's a different competition. I know it doesn't affect the league, but if you go in and you beat Celtic in the quarter-final and it gets you into the draw for the semi-final, I think that then kicks you on for the following week against St Mirren. I have no doubt about that.
Darren's been on 0808 1717 700. A Rangers fan saying, Barry, do you need any more Brasso? Did you run out of it? No. We're back with your call after this.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Well, what a week it's been again in Scottish football. There is no title race like it, I think, in Europe, probably, maybe in the world. 4-way race. Motherwell in there in 4th position. Rangers just slipped to 3rd. Celtic in 2nd. And at the top, it's Hearts. Could this be the year that Hearts, and it could well be. What do you think? 0808 1717 700. We heard from Danny Röhl about winning a trophy, or what it would be like to go trophyless this season. And the same point was put this afternoon to the Celtic boss, Martin O'Neill.
No, I don't think so. Those things can happen. They can happen. The year that now I will go back to yesteryear. So in 2003, when we reached the UEFA Cup final, we didn't win anything. Rangers won, and yet you've still got Celtic fans saying it was one of the best seasons ever. We chased them down until the last day of the season. We played about 15 more games than they did during the course of the season because we've gone so deeply into European football. All of those things, but no, I think we can't look. We can only look forward now. We've got a chance in a cup competition, and we've got a chance in the league. But yeah, to me, it's just been, from my viewpoint here, it's just been really hard work.
Andy, that was an unforgettable season for Celtic. They went all the way in. You almost forget the last day of the season, neck and neck with Rangers, and Rangers pipped them to the title.
I can remember those days, the quality of the Celtic team, the quality of the side they were up against at Rangers around Barry's time. I think that was they were the best footballing teams that I've seen since retiring, and brilliant when it goes to the last day, last kick of the ball almost. So it looks as though we might be in for something like that this season. The big change, of course, is that it's Hearts who are involved, and potentially Motherwell. It's extraordinary to be talking about a 4-horse race.
Barry, memories of that year for you at Rangers, 2003?
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, it was nerve-wracking. But again, you have to solely focus on yourself. You can't dictate what happens elsewhere. You have to just go and do your job and make sure you get that win, and then see where it takes you. But it's great when it goes down to it. It's great for the the supporters. It's great for the game up here, and I honestly firmly believe this is what's going to happen this season.
And you thrived on it. So did Celtic, because both of you scored a barrel load in the last day of the season. It wasn't as if either of you were
done it
were playing
twice.
badly. Yeah,
Been involved in it twice. Helicopter Sunday as
indeed.
well.
2005.
Yep, again. So they're great games to be involved in. But again, you can't help what happens elsewhere, Paul. You have to just make sure you do your job, and that's winning a game of football, and then see where it takes you, and hopefully it gets you that league title. But I'm not ruling out Motherwell either. Honestly, I'm not. I think their game in hands against Dundee.
Yep.
I
firmly believe they'll get the 3 points, and that puts them right in it as well.
Yeah, that's tomorrow as well. So Stephen O'Donnell joined us a few nights ago. It is remarkable to see Celtic are reported to be interested for next season in Elijah Just, and that wouldn't surprise you, Andy, would it?
Nope, terrific player, someone who we didn't know much about, but in that Motherwell team, he's looked like such a clever footballer, linking up with so many of his teammates. Got an eye for goal as well. And anyone who's got the ability to be a goal-scoring threat from the middle of the park, they're worth their weight in gold.
Ryan's on asking, Andy, memories of that cup final win in the centenary year, which was a pressure. It was obviously, it was a spur as well for Billy, Tommy Craig and the whole team. But what was it like cup final day?
Cup final day was great. Down at Seamill, into Hampden. We had a bizarre meeting, all of us, with the Prime Minister of the day, Margaret Thatcher. I think most of us went through, except Mick McCarthy. Frank, of course, was leading the way, and I think he might have got a kiss, as he always tried to do. But no, you just want to get your gear on. You want to get out onto the pitch and just get a feel of the ball. And again, olden days, wasn't it all seated? It was terracing. I think there was 85,000 at that game. So to go a goal down, it didn't really affect you that badly, because so often in that season we came from a goal behind to win it with the last kick of the ball. We'd done it in the semi-final. We'd done it so often in league games. And of course, I think it was fitting that Frank was the guy who got the 2 goals that day, because maybe Paul McStay was the player of the year for our team, but Frank wasn't too far behind.
Barry, for you, there's so many. Just obviously the 2001 was a huge one. Was that the Lovenkrands?
2002.
Sorry, yeah.
Yep. I just look back in that one. It's not just the great Rangers team I played in. The team I come up against, the Celtic team, had top class players in it. It was 2 teams that were neck and neck, and it was an unbelievable game. It was like a basketball game. Celtic were on top for 5 minutes, and we would take control. But they're great occasions. They're occasions you look forward to. As I said, as a young kid growing up, there's always one competition you always watched on the TV with your mates. And again, I'm just like Andy, like the build-up, I didn't enjoy the build-up because there was a lot of press to do. I just wanted to just get the game started and get on with it and hopefully win it.
And tickets as well. Trying to keep everybody happy.
Yeah, no, I always done that. I always get the tickets away at the start of the week, Paul. I didn't want any distractions at all. I just wanted to focus on making sure that I was ready and my teammates were ready.
I remember getting 200 tickets for that game. And that was just friends and family.
200?
Probably just family. I bought 200 tickets just to dish out to mostly family.
Just as well you got the bonus.
Did you buy them?
Mostly family.
Yeah.
Of course.
Oh, we got them for nothing.
Did you get them for nothing?
Oh, no. We had to buy ours. But I'm not even allowed a ticket these days.
Indeed. But that has to change, surely. But anyway, so cup final memories, 08, 08, 17, 17, 700, and who is going to win it? Quite a few of the listeners and viewers are asking you for your teams. They want to know, Barry, you've said you don't expect a change, but...
No, are you asking me my team or what I think Danny Röhl?
What was your team? What would you?
The only change I would probably make would be Olsen out and Diomande in.
Right.
I would go a flat 3 with Nico, Chukwani and Dio. I would give Mikey Moore a free roll in front of them, and I would play the 2 big boys up top. I don't think he'll change defensively either. I think he'll stick with...
No Tavernier?
No, and I was surprised that Tavernier didn't play.
Yeah, so was I.
Very surprised.
Because he does well against Celtic, and
Yeah.
people thought that he would. He was asked about Skov Olsen this afternoon.
Yeah, I think the good thing is we have this option after the season. Then I have not to think about this now. We know and we saw in moments which parts he can help us, especially in the final third. I think he is also very tactical, intelligent. You see this, but and he will also agree. And we had this conversation that there's still more in, and this is what we try to bring it as soon as possible out of him.
We all saw your old teammate Peter Lovenkrands speaking about him, promoting the game. I see Sir Kenny Dalglish as well. Is the tag of the new Laudrup affecting him?
No, I don't think so. I think you can see the guy's got quality. There's no doubt. And you've got to remember he didn't play a lot of football before he came from Wolfsburg, so he's probably still getting up to speed. And the hardest thing is, Paul, when everybody's match fit and you're no match fit, you're trying to play catch up. But there's no doubt he's got great quality, and you've seen it in glimpses. There's no doubt about that.
Manager was asked about the defence, which had been so good for so long, but they're leaking too many goals.
Yeah, this is the job as a manager. I think you always have to sort it out all the problems. Is the best case. We look back to the conceded goals. I think we conceded too much at the moment. From the last, I think we conceded 16. All in all in the league since I'm here, and in the last 5 games, 8. Yeah, this is too much, and this is also part what we have to improve. Then you look back against Livingston, the opponent has 3 touches in our box and 2 goals. When we look back to the situation where it comes to the pen on the weekend, we have 8 against 4 in our box. We have an overload, but we were not in the right position, and this is what we have to do better. We worked on this. And we will do. Yeah, and this is the part when you scored, I think, in 5 games, 14 goals. This is nearly average from 3. That should be enough to win all the games.
Andy?
Yeah, I think when you talk about goals that you're giving away, it's obviously a big concern. No one likes conceding goals when it gets to be a habit. And I think Rangers, just the nagging doubt about Rangers in my mind over the last few weeks is 1 up against Motherwell. They're a man down and still they drop a couple of points. 2 up against Celtic and you drop a couple of points. 2-0 down against Livingston. You get it back to 2-2, but still you drop 2 points against a team that at this stage of the season have only won once. It was a shoe-in for Rangers, that game. And every point you drop at this stage it is so costly. So I think that's why the stakes are so high on Sunday. I absolutely agree with Barry. If you win that game, no matter how you win it, you'll just be able to gather a bit of momentum and look forward to the rest of the season with great anticipation.
Martin O'Neill agrees with both of you that the result of the weekend will have no bearing on the title.
Naturally, just taking the game on its own, that would be a big boost for us if we could win the game, get into the semi-final of the competition. That would be great. Will it eventually have a bearing? I think on the way the league is going to pan out. I'm really not so sure. There's tough matches ahead for us. There's tough matches ahead for the sides concerned. So I really don't know. I suppose it would be if you got beaten in the game, it's how quickly you can get over it.
Andy, what do you make? What would your Rangers team be? I see you've...
I would play Tavernier, but maybe Sterling is the favourite at the moment. If Diomande comes in, where does he play? Do Rangers play it's like a 4-2-2-2, or do they play the 4-3-3, 4-5-1 with the wide players getting up? I think when you're at home, obviously the 3 sides of the stadium, they are charging you on. But I think it will be a fascinating contest, as always. And I think when you've got someone like Chermiti, I mean, that goal that he scored, his first goal I'm talking about, just that. I mean, the agility and the athleticism, he was able to connect with the ball so high Absolutely wonderful goal. So he is someone who is capable of, turning it on the big occasion, and it's another big occasion on Sunday.
Yeah, Barry, what about that? Well, both these goals. What about the first one?
It's up there with the best I've seen. He's just connected with it perfectly. Andy's right. He's come up with big moments in big games. The only thing against him is you want to see him do that against a Livingston or a Falkirk or whatever. But yeah, fantastic first goal, and even the second goal, the faint touch that he took it round the defender, and then a great finish. So yeah, fantastic performance by him. I've always said that he looks better when he's got a partner or when he's got bodies close to him. And Andy's just mentioned, with Rangers being at home, he's got to play the two big boys up top. He's got to go for it. And I think he will play the two of them up top. It's what he does behind that. In terms of the midfield. Does he go with a flat three and Mikey Moore as a floater, or does he go with Chukwani and Raskin with Olsen and
do you not think it suits Moore to be a floater?
I like Moore.
Anywhere, right,
yeah.
middle, left.
If you give him the freedom, Andy, I think he can cause all sorts of problems. I like him when he can pop up in the right, pop up in the left, in the middle. He'll even go in amongst the midfielders. He's a real threat, and I thought he was at times on Sunday. He was head and shoulders above everybody. You
could see that, Andy. He's the kind of player you'd pay money to watch.
Yeah, he gets you on the edge of your seat, and he's a real threat to Celtic. And I love the way he's able to carry the ball 30, 40 yards, going past players. And it doesn't, when I look at him, doesn't matter if he's on the right, the left, or through the middle. He's able to receive the ball, turn, and that's him. He just, whoever's in front of him, he just wants to go past that opponent. And as soon as you do that, I think it's great for strikers, because you can then, begin to make your move, and he's taking you into the last third.
Yeah, he's very direct. He's always in the half turn. Watch him when he receives the ball. It's never, normally a lot of players, when they receive the ball, their first touch is back the way. His isn't, because of his body shape, and he's a difference maker. There's no doubt about it, and it'll be interesting to see, as I said, what way they go. I just like him with that bit of freedom where he can go anywhere on the pitch and then really affect the game.
I see Rangers are speaking with Tottenham at the moment, apparently, about extending it. Tottenham, my goodness, Barry, they could well go down. In fact,
every chance,
aren't they?
Every chance. They're a point off relegation. I know a lot of people go on about, I've got one of the best stadiums in the world, one of the best training grounds in the world. Well, that doesn't matter one single bit. They're really struggling at this moment in time, and I think they're in the relegation. I think they're in the relegation fight.
It's bizarre. They are in a relegation fight, but it's bizarre. What are they in the quarterfinals of Champions League?
They are Champions League. I know. It just
From
shows
one extreme to the other.
Yeah, it does show you the English Premier League, though, is now in a class probably above everywhere else.
I don't like it. I mean, I love my English football, but you're getting 5, 6 English teams into the Champions League, and I think Real Madrid are going to be playing Man City, and I think it's for the 5th year in a row. I'd love it if they could just spread the money out a bit more and get the Scottish champions, the Dutch champions, the Portuguese champions, just get them bigger and stronger, give them a bit of the money.
The clue's in the fact that they're champions. They should be in the Champions League. It's pretty unfair, Barry, isn't it?
I always believe if you're the champion of your country, you should be automatically straight into the Champions League.
Barry's hoping, of course, it's going to be Rangers. Andy would think Celtic, but it could well be the Hearts. Could it be Motherwell? Hugh was on the other end. That would be... That would even be better than Leicester.
It would be better than Leicester.
Yeah.
I mean, their turnover, I think, is around 6 million. Celtic, for example, I think it might be around 126 million. It would be utterly remarkable for Motherwell to do it. I've got to say, I think they're a wee bit far away, and I do get that they could go on a run of victories, but I just can't see Hearts, Celtic and Rangers all slipping up enough for Motherwell to come through.
I do think they'll have a big say, but Andy.
Sure.
I do. I really. What a season! What a season they've had. The manager clearly believes in the players, and the big thing for me is the players believe in the manager and the way they play. It's. I've got to be honest. It's a joy to watch.
More after this. We're straight back.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King.
Yeah, Motherwell fans will be looking forward to the game tomorrow. They'll be going up in big numbers to Dens Park, Dundee against Motherwell. And Dundee have surprised so many people. You know, everyone early on, I think, was saying, "Oh, Stephen Presley, it's not going to work."
Yeah, credit to him because he put up with a lot of stick.
Yep.
And I've seen them twice recently. I like the way they play. They seem to have enough to be able to get out of trouble at the foot of the table. But he's done well just to manage his way through that very difficult time when no one seemed to be on his side.
Let's go on the lines. Thomas is on, a Celtic fan. Hi, Thomas. Good evening.
Hiya.
Hi, Thomas.
Good evening.
I was listening to your show. Hello.
Hi,
Hello?
Thomas.
On you go, Thomas. Yeah,
Hello,
you're through.
Can you hear me? Aye.
Yeah, loud and clear.
Yes. You were talking earlier on in the show about the allocations for the Celtic and Rangers game, and you were sort of, well, it was more Andy Walker was blaming both clubs for the allocations getting cut. There's only one club that's at fault for the allocations getting cut, and it's Rangers. It's not got nothing to do with Celtic. It was all Rangers for the allocations getting cut.
No, it's to do with Celtic as well. Rangers did it. Rangers said they would do it, Thomas, and then Celtic said, "Okay, we're doing it first." That's what happened.
So do you expect Rangers to cut Celtic's allocation to 800 and then Celtic to give Rangers 7,000?
Yeah, I expect Celtic to be the bigger club and do the right thing. That's what I expected.
Well, there's no way they're going to do that.
No, they didn't do it. They didn't do it, and I'm not surprised they didn't do it. They cannot stand the sight of one another. That's the truth, Thomas. And it's a great pity that we've lost the best spectacle in Scottish football because the clubs don't want a sizable away support. Both of them. They don't want it.
Yeah, but the only reason there's 7,500 fans is because it's in the rules.
Yeah, for the cup games, but they still don't do it, as we all know. But Thomas, do you not wish if you could run it? I mean, Rangers, I think that was poor. It was during Steven Gerrard's time. Celtic were winning a lot. I think he said, "Well, let's change this." But Celtic probably, well, that's now historical. Would you like to see it go back to the way it was 10 years ago?
Well, it's a far better spectacle when there's bigger allocations. But I think if I've been truthful, Rangers couldn't take getting beat all the time when Celtic were going to Ibrox, and that was the reason they've cut their allocation. That's the truth.
What are you thinking for this season, Thomas? Because it looks as though Hearts are going to win it. What do you feel?
Well, I feel it's Hearts' title to lose now, but there's still a lot of football to be played, so we'll see what happens.
The other madness, Thomas, is the price of the tickets. What is it? Is it more than 50 quid? Is it £53
for the cup?
I think
it's astonishing
£56.
That they're asking fans to pay that amount. I mean, I know England is a richer league, but there's a cap on away ticket prices. I think it's about £30 or £35. £53 you're asking. It's I mean, how to well, I won't use those words. Yeah, how to take advantage of some supporters.
Thomas, what are you thinking about your club then for the title, for the cup? And what's happened this year? Can you believe it? All the change of managers, the Wilfred Nonce affair. Whose idea was that? What do you reckon? Are they going to sort it out?
It's been a bit of a shambles, to be honest. Yeah. But I think the board have got to take responsibility for this one. But I still think they've got a chance of winning the league. But there's no much in it. Like it could be Celtic, Rangers, or Hearts. I think. But I would say definitely Hearts are favourites at this moment in time.
Which is partly a reflection of how things have gone at Rangers at the start of the season, Barry, and Celtic.
Yeah, it was such a poor start to the season for Rangers, hence the fact that Danny Röhl was in charge at Celtic. The managerial changes, the only one with a bit of stability in the top three has been Hearts. And they're there for a reason, because they deserve to be top of the league, there's no doubt.
I think Hearts are big favourites because they could get, if they win all their games, I think they could get 90 points. I think maybe 80, 81, 82, 83, that might win it. I've said it before, I think all the clubs will drop points. But, Celtic and Rangers obviously can't afford many slip-ups. I mean, Hearts can afford one. They're 5 points in front, so can afford a loss. Can't afford too many. And then, of course, you might get the odd draw or two. This is why I think it, as we've been saying for some time, it'll probably go down to the last couple of weeks.
Thomas, how are you feeling about Martin O'Neill? 74 years young on Sunday, and he's out there sorting out the fighting. It wasn't a fight at the end, but he's some man, isn't he?
He's done well with limited resources, to be honest. It's probably one of the worst Celtic teams I've seen. I've been a season ticket holder for 30 years, and it's they're pretty poor, I would say. Like they're lacking in attacking areas, especially. They've not got any real quality, I would say.
Andy, who have you got in your Celtic team then to tell Thomas?
Well, that
and
was
everybody?
The team last week with Svanchara. On Wednesday with Svanchara starting the game. But Maeda looked really good when he went through the middle for a while. Tonetke and Hatate made such a difference. You've got so many away games on the spin, and Martin O'Neill's already mentioned it earlier when you played his clip about just one or two knocks. And obviously the big one, I think, would be Kieran Tierney, because as much as he doesn't, finish, he doesn't play a lot of 90-minute games, he's so productive.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got a couple of goals in the last couple of games, but he's also a great player to give you a cross for a goal. I think he's one of the top assists.
So what's your team for Celtic?
I would play Sinisalo. I think are we assuming that Dane Murray's still injured? You have to persevere with Ben Arthur. So it'd be Araho, Arthur, it'd be Scales. Hopefully Kieran Tierney is fit. But if he's not, I think Sarachi is a decent substitute for him. I would have Callum McGregor and Hatate in there. I would have Yang on one side, Maeda. Tonetke on one side, Maeda on another. I would have Svanchara through the middle, and I don't know who else would fill that. Could you get a place for Forrest from the start? I mean, look at James Forrest. He came on, and yet again he had a moment of quality where he lifted it up for that header that brought the penalty. And I think as much as VAR cost Celtic the week before, it certainly helped him get a point at the weekend.
Barry, what about that Celtic team, do you think?
Yeah, the only thing, when I watch Celtic, they obviously clearly struggle for a number 9, and I just think the wide players, apart from James Forrest, are quite selfish. They're no like team players to me. Tonetke, listen, he's got quality. I think he's better coming off the bench. When he starts, he tends to struggle a wee bit. When he comes off the bench, he lights up games, he gets goals, and he's a real danger. I don't know whether he'll go with Maeda through the middle because of the problems he caused in the second half.
Thomas, what do you feel up front?
Well, I'd go with similar to Andy, same back four, but I would probably put Young wide left, because I think James Forrest probably. I think you've got to play James Forrest wide right, and I think Maeda he's not playing very well, but I think he's probably the best player to play through the middle. So I'd put Maeda up front. That's how I would go anyway.
Have you got a space for Luke McCown in there? You like him? You like him, Thomas?
Yeah, he's done all right, but I don't think he's. I wouldn't play him for the start on Sunday.
Are you going through to the semi-final? What do you reckon?
I think it could go either way, but I think Celtic will probably just edge it.
Thomas,
but I'm a bit biased, so.
First time caller. Thank you, Thomas. Good to hear you. News is next, then we're back.
The Go Radio Football Show with Burger King. Watch live at 5 p.m. weekdays on YouTube. Join the conversation on 0808 1717 700. Talking Scottish football first.
We certainly are. It's a huge Scottish Cup weekend. The Scottish Scottish Cup kicking off tonight. Falkirk against Dundee United. Andy Walker is here. And Barry Ferguson going to take more calls. 0808 1717 700. Tomorrow, Dunfermline against Aberdeen at 7:30. Not a 3 o'clock on a Saturday, however, but Aberdeen, who desperately need to win because in the league they're not going to be top 6. Rangers Celtic, it's not high noon, it's 1 o'clock on Sunday. And then St Mirren against Partick Thistle, 7:30. It's happy birthday to one of our colleagues, Charlie Mulgrew, 40 years old today.
40,
For Big Charlie, eh? Do you remember?
Fantastic.
A young man.
We'll see him all
Young
the best.
pup.
Yep.
He's a young pup.
Sure is. I think he was going to go abroad, Charlie, Barry, but he's staying at home because of events in the Middle East. So he's here, and I'm sure he's enjoying it and watching the show and listening at the moment.
Happy birthday, Charlie.
Yeah, just put it out there on the... Is he? In fact, he's on just now. Surely not. 0808 17 17 700. Both managers speaking today, Danny Röhl and Martin O'Neill, ahead of the game. We had the injury updates. We spoke about Kieran Tierney just before the break and the news. What's happening with him after the knock the other night?
Honestly, I don't want to put too fine a point on it, but I think he's been colossal for us. Really has. You know, there was times when I came back in the first spell that I thought, I wonder, will he ever get to the level that he was before? And you often wondered whether it was just fitness alone. You know, the fact that hadn't played for quite some considerable time. He'd been every single time he just seemed to be plagued with injuries at Arsenal and not getting his career going at all. But he's come roaring back here. Honestly, he's been fantastic for us. Really, really fantastic. And I'm pleased to see it. Obviously, selfishly, I'm delighted with it. But yeah, great to see him, because there were times, as I said, in my first spell, I was wondering whether that would ever happen. But he's come back very strongly.
Kieran Tierney getting the goals as well, Andy.
Well, a big player, someone who has been defending well, but I think the amount of crosses that he's put into the box that have led to goals, and of course 2 big goals in the last 2 games, it gets Celtic the point at Ibrox, helps get Celtic at the point at Ibrox, and obviously helps them with a win. He's invaluable at the moment. You really hope he's able to shake off whatever knock he picked up the other night.
And the manager was asked, have you spoken to Kasper Schmeichel, who's been injured for a week?
Yeah, well, generally speaking, managers, they are in the habit of speaking to players at some stage or another either. No, we've just had a very, very brief chats, but it's nothing substantial at this moment, you know.
He's not going to play though, is he? What?
I don't think so. Yeah. I think he has lost his form of late, and I think whatever bug he picked up with Sinisalo coming in, and I think he's just taken his chance, and he looks strong and confident, and I don't think it makes sense to go back to Kasper Schmeichel at this stage of the season.
Both keepers in good form, Barry. I mean, Sinisalo and Jack Butland. Looking at last weekend.
Sinisalo made a great save Wednesday night from Kevin Nisbet, I think it was, his header. And Jack's been really strong for Rangers this year.
Let's hear more from Danny Röhl then. Talking about last Sunday's game.
Yeah, I would lie when I say after this game you are happy and you're not disappointed. Of course, you think about what was right, what I could change, how I can help the group. The biggest challenge in this game was that you feel 50 minutes, we can celebrate a win. Yeah, you feel this in the stadium. I think you feel it on the stands. Everyone was convinced there's just one winner in this game. But everyone who knows football and who is part of this football knows games can change quick, and a 2-0 is always dangerous. I think when we look back to our away game, we had the same feeling. They felt maybe, we have them today, and then we scored, and then the change. I think it's important that under the reaction that you have still everything under control. We missed at the end 5 minutes to come with a 2-1 through this game, and this is what we have to improve. And we spoke about this week. We spoke about how we have to handle some situations. It's in game management. There's also some parts from the tactical things. And the team who is 2-1 down has nothing to lose. And this is then always a situation where you can play just forward. But we did some things what we shouldn't do again. And I start always by myself. Take the responsibility. I think I take the responsibility for the first half, and I take also the responsibility for the second half, because this is my job.
Barry, do you think the manager will respond well? Because it's not the weekend he expected to have again, a bit of a spat with Martin O'Neill, which I don't think you would have got in, or somebody experienced, maybe in the Scottish game. Many people were surprised.
Yeah, it's just a bit of passion sometimes. It overspills. But I like he's taking responsibility, but also the players have to take responsibility. as well when they go on the pitch. And it's something I'm sure and I'm clear that they'll be working on and speaking about this week. The second goal, I think the two centre backs get dragged, and Dujon's actually coming in to cover both centre backs. So I think it's a goal, if you look back, could be avoidable. And it's something that I'm sure they'll be clearly working on this week, because they've lost a few goals now over the last number of weeks, which I think are certainly avoidable.
You're saying in the paper today there can't be any drop off the way there was in the second half.
No, that's the challenge I think the manager will put to the players, and also the players have to put individually and collectively to each other. I don't think I've seen a better performance in a long time in the first 45 minutes. But listen, a game lasts over 90 minutes. That's the issue. And that's a challenge that they have to make sure that they get right on Sunday. Because if you drop off at any stage, I know Celtic aren't as strong and aren't as good as they have been in previous years. They still have some quality players. So if you drop off, they're going to hurt you. And that's what they've done. And
Martin O'Neill's a wily old fox as well. Andy, were you a bit surprised about the spat, obviously, about Sinisalo? Would he play? I mean, Luke McKernan came out and said, look, if we play the way we did against Stuttgart, nobody will live with us. I get it, a player saying that.
I'm just really surprised that Danny Röhl just getting involved in trying to wind up the opposition manager. And I think he's just too long in the tooth for that. Trying to talk about his team. Was he trying to play some mind games? It was... It didn't look well on him, but of course you thought everything depends on the result. And if Rangers had won the game, no one is making a song and dance about it. But I thought it was a bit strange.
And then the bit with Luke, on Sky, just beforehand, did you see that, Barry? I know you were there.
Yep.
And he said, I see the Sinisalo's playing. I was right, kind of thing. I was really surprised.
Yeah, why are you picking up on that? Concentrate in the game.
Somebody,
it was strange.
Yeah, like, again, it's a good point Andy makes. Like, if leading up to the game, if you get asked, because clearly you're going to get asked the question about Celtic playing the night before, and I would have just said, right, good result, but I'm concentrating on Rangers. I would kind of just stop it at that. But listen, every manager's got a way of doing things. That's up to them. And I don't think wouldn't have got brought up if Rangers had won the game. That's been the issue.
Sure. Does anyone brief him beforehand, do you think? Because he's handled himself brilliantly until last Friday.
You do get briefed with the media guys, but there's some questions that come up that you don't expect. But that's you need to handle the questions. There's some difficult ones at times.
What's it like standing in front of it, live after a tough game or just ahead of it, 50,000?
Well, before it, Bill, you've got, it's packed with media. You've got 30, 40 people in the auditorium doing it. And then after the game, you're 5 minutes basically straight after it. You're right onto TV. It's easier if you win. The both occasions that I come up against Celtic was 1-1 and 1 draw, so it's not as bad. I just wouldn't imagine if you were in the back of a defeat, because it's sore when you're up against your closest rivals. But that's the way it is, and you've got to handle certain situations.
Andy, did you like doing the full-time interviews then on Sky and that sort of thing, being in, or on the radio as well? Just after the match?
I felt as though I was comfortable doing that. And any sort of controversial topic, you're able to bat it away. But it only comes with confidence. And do you know what? I think there are times you want to have a little dig at the opposition. Sometimes you just want to wind them up, and it's okay. It's all for show. And a couple of times it's come back to bite you, but. It's always interesting to see how certain individuals react to, the pre-match pressure. Even when you win and the elation of it, what do you say? It's totally different to obviously trying to handle a defeat.
That's a good point Andy makes. When you win, you're obviously over the moon and you're hyper, but you've got to be respectful. You can't go in and... I would never go in and say we absolute battered Celtic or we were the best team, they couldn't get close to us. I wouldn't come out with anything like that. I would always try and be level-headed.
And just Chermiti to run up the touchline with the water bottle. Hey, it's a
But
bit of character.
that's a good point you make. So that incident's happened.
Yeah.
I've not known about this incident.
Did you know nothing?
No, I didn't know. Went
You
into
were
the
asked
dre-
about it.
Yeah.
I went into the dressing room. You get 5 minutes with the team, a quick debrief, just let them celebrate the moment, and you come out and you get asked it straight away.
I can't remember. How did you handle it?
Very badly.
No,
You were no. I'm
Very
joking.
well.
No, you did handle it really well.
I just deflect.
Listen, you
I
did.
just deflect,
Of course.
Andy.
Yeah, sure.
You've got to
Listen,
You've got to have the mechanisms.
You did. You handled it really well because you're there. You've won 3-2 at Celtic. You were 2 up and then 2-2, and you think, well, Celtic will go on to win maybe. You know, they were heading for the title.
Yeah.
And you changed it, and up popped your man who's away then,
Yeah.
Ika man. And
Some of
you
these
won
things,
it.
you
It's
know,
theatre.
there are people, they want to blow it up into, World War III.
Sure.
It's the biggest thing that you have to discuss, but there's a way to handle these things,
Yeah.
and most people can do it all right.
There was a few calls about it, some Rangers fans saying Walter Smith wouldn't have done that. And I said, I don't think Barry would have done that. You wouldn't, just about the Stuttgart. And just my final point on it was, no, he chose to say the thing about Sinisalo ahead of the game. I was surprised with Danny Röhl because he's done brilliantly. But look,
I didn't see that interview.
were you
I was
getting
in
ready?
hospital getting ready.
How was your day? Yeah, no, I know it must be. You were obviously
No, it was
getting
good.
ready for the
The
match.
clients were very good. It was bubbly, obviously, before the game, half time, and then it's
Bubbly, do you mean champagne? At half time was what you're telling
and then
us.
listen, it's like anything when you concede a last minute goal, it's a sore one to take. But I'm afraid that's football, and you need to, like, leading up to the game this week. I know Celtic had Aberdeen in the Wednesday, but you have to erase it. You have to forget it. It's in the past, and you need to look forward.
Danny Röhl was asked about the pressure that comes with a job at this level.
My own pressure is always high because I want to be successful. I want to win something. I want to bring the club forward. I want to win titles. We have still 2 good options, 2 good opportunities to do something. It's a game where in 90 minutes, 120 minutes, everything is on for both teams. Let's see, we will try. We are focused. We know that we can do it because we showed us 50 minutes how we can play. And with this positive mindset, we go in this game. Pressure on football, I think it's normal. Every manager has pressure. It doesn't matter where you are. We know our club is special, but it's also a big honor to be manager of such a fantastic club.
Huge honour, of course, to be the manager as you were, Barry, last season. Martin O'Neill is the manager this season. Who would have thought that a year ago if we said Martin O'Neill is going to be in the dugout this weekend? He was asked about the fans and Celtic, how are they playing, the positivity that they need for Ibrox again on Sunday.
No, the fans will be cheering. Don't worry about that. They will be cheering. I thought that. Well, I've just done a previous interview here, and I just said that we would need to start. We'd need to start better than we did in the game. But you never know. We might be the team that starts really brightly, and we might be the team holding on at the end. So it's a different game. But we cannot afford to go as long a period and not doing so well, because you can actually not be in control of a whole match. That's the point. You wouldn't expect it to. You're away from home. And you can be out of a game for 10, 15, 20 minutes, as long as you hang in there during the course of that time. But in that 15 or 20 minutes you're out, the game could go beyond you. So I'm not a sus there. I don't know what's going to happen on Sunday. But getting back to your point, and I agree with, we need to start better.
Need to start better, Andy, Röhl Club.
Yeah, for sure. They need to handle the occasion. And, I think sometimes, even if you go a goal down, you can still be strong. You can still believe that you'll get back in the game. Sometimes the opposition can score a wonder goal, as Chermiti did last weekend, and there's not much you can do about that. The second goal was down to a couple of mistakes. First of all, from Dane Murray, then Röhl and the right back not getting that away. So 2-0 down. That takes a strong type of character to come back, because it could have been 3 or 4. and credit to the manager making the changes, and the changes worked, and he just kept at it. And once they got that goal, I honestly felt, I think I've said this to you before, at 2-0 down, I think most players' mentality when you're playing for a top club like Celtic Rangers, if you're 2-0 down, you think, we can win this. We can win this 3-2, because we can always score, a couple of goals in 5 or 10 minutes.
That third goal is so crucial.
Yeah, he's right, Andy. If there's going to be a third goal, it has to be you. See if it's the opposition, then you're in a bit of danger. But Martin O'Neill, just picking up on what he's saying there, he's right. They can't go that length of time getting dominated, Celtic. And part of my preparation leading up to the games, in any game, was whoever you're playing against, even if you're that dominant, the opposition's always going to have a 10 or 15 minute period. So it's how you set up when they have the ball. You need to be really solid and compact, and that's something that Rangers I'll need to be better at, because on Sunday when Celtic got that goal, they became the dominant team, and Rangers looked a bit stretched and a bit disorganised.
I always remember that with Big Roy. If we were struggling, we might be level in the game, we might be one up in the game, but we're struggling. Rangers are having a dominant period, as Barry was suggesting there, and Big Roy, your captain, he would be the one taking the lead and controlling things. Andy, get back in here. Let's sit. You need to sit in for 5 or 10 minutes. We need to get through this, and you take the lead from your captain. You do as you're told. You try and help out. You try and be a team player.
Got a great picture into us yesterday from Davy Provan, your old teammate, my old colleague on the radio, and your colleague from here, Barry, of course, when we launched this programme. And it's a great picture of him, along with Roy Aitken. Jerry McCabe's there as well, Mike Conroy, and many others. There's about a dozen of them, Fiona, his wife, in Havia. And it's the Frank McGarvey Celtic Supporters Club in Havia. It's a brilliant picture, isn't it?
It's brilliant, and they are some special names for me, because the Celtic team that I went to watch, Davy was in it, obviously Big Roy, Frank McGarvey, who's sadly no longer with us. He was a big part of it. So they're just some great names, and I'm glad Frank is being remembered even now.
Of course, and mentioning the cup, it was the 85 cup final, wasn't it? Davy Provan scored the equaliser against Dundee United, and that was a 100th cup final, Barry. Free kick. United were all over Celtic. I was doing the game live. And then Celtic looked, you're never out of it, 1-0. And then it was Frank McGarvey.
Even if you're not playing well, Paul, you can be one down, not playing well, but you a moment of magic, which Davy Provan provided in 85, and they go on and win it with what a wonderful diving header from Frank McGarvey to win it.
And that was his last touch of the ball for Celtic, because then Celtic sold him back to St Mirren. He went. Listen, who wants to win £250 or £500, Barry? It's time. We're going to do the Scottish Gas competition, because it's Scottish Gas Scottish Cup weekend, and it's got a Scottish Cup theme. Surprise, surprise. We're going to be with you straight after this.
Win on go with Scottish Gas. With Scottish Gas Peak Save, get half price electricity every Sunday from 11 a.m. till 4 p.m. Smart meter required. Eligibility and terms apply.
Yep, Scottish Gas Scottish Cup weekend, our new competition, Pick Your Pundit, with Scottish Gas, giving you the chance to win £250 or £500, or it could be none if the pundits get any of them wrong. Here's how it works. I've got a question here for Andy Walker and Barry Ferguson, with a various number of answers available, and they'll list how many they can answer. I've told them what it is during the break, so they've had 2 or 3 minutes. The pundit that says they can answer the highest number is worth 500, the lower number 250. And Sam from Tollcross can decide which one he wants to go for. Sam, good evening.
Good evening, guys.
How are you?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Good.
All good.
Sam, we'll go. I'll explain what the question is, and then I'll ask Andy and Barry to see how many they think they'll get right. And I'll come straight back to you and see who you want to go with. So tonight's question is, during the break we asked them, because it's the Scottish Gas Scottish Cup weekend, how many players can you name that scored the first goal in the finals since season 2000-2001? So that's 25 years. So from 2001 until now, who scored the first goal in each of the cup finals? I only need their name once. In fact, I don't think anyone has scored more than one. Okay, so if you get it wrong, you lose. So if you think you can do 20, for example, shout. I know, I'm being ridiculous. This is a hard one, isn't it? Sam, what do you think? It's tough.
Yeah, tough one.
It is, but anyway.
It's Barry.
Yeah.
Barry either, so.
Sure. So, Andy, how many do you think?
I've actually had a rethink, and I think I can do more than I first thought.
Okay.
I think I can do about 10. 10? Aye.
All right. Okay. Andy Walker thinks 10. Barry, what do you feel? Yeah. So they're so competitive, Sam. That, honestly, see beforehand or go for it. Barry, how many would you say? Yeah. If you can't get it wrong, if you get them wrong,
if you get one wrong, you lose.
I'll start with the ones I definitely.
Sam's gasses.
How many is that?
Yeah. How many are you going for?
How many?
I'm still going for 10.
Okay, still going for 10.
Oh, no, but then he loses the money.
Okay, hang on.
Okay.
I'll go for. He might not be.
Okay.
So 9.
Barry, how many do you think?
9. And here, I'm going to go for 8.
8. Okay, Andy Walker 8. Barry, how many?
I'm this. I've got 8 definites.
All right.
I've got one.
Okay.
Right,
I'm going to throw it to Sam then. So 8. You're both going for 8.
No,
yeah.
I can do 8. I'm confident.
So wait a minute. No, there needs to be. That's
I've
like
got 9.
No,
I'll
I've got
go
9.
9.
Barry's going 9.
I'm
okay.
going 9.
So
listen, if I lose your money, Sam, you don't know where I live, so that's all right.
So Andy Walker will get you 250 if he gets them all right. Barry will get you 500 because if he gets all 9 correct. Right. Sam, it's as clear as mud. Rob, come back. He was in brilliant.
Come on, Sam. What do you think?
Sam, who do you want to go for?
I'll take the rest. I'll go with Barry.
You sure? Right. Okay, you're going for
I'll take the rest.
Barry Ferguson.
Big mistake.
5 Scottish Cup medals.
Right. I'm going to go with the first 4.
Okay. Let me get.
Rangers.
Go. Right. First one.
Nacho Novo.
Nacho Novo. Is he down there? He is indeed. 08, 09. Chris Boyd, of course. 07, 08.
The year before.
Yep. So
Amoruso against Falkirk.
You think? You played. Lorenzo Amoruso, former captain until
Ryan Jack.
Ryan Jack. Oh, well, yeah, absolutely. 2020.
It was an extra time.
That's right. I remember
the 2. Yep. Was it 2-0 game?
It was. Yep. Yeah. So how's it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to go. Yep.
John Hartson,
Big Bad John. Correct. 2001 to 2002. Adam Ida. Yep. It was the shot, wasn't it, from Paulo Bernardo?
Yep.
Butland saves. Ida scores. 2024.
A blast for the past.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Stokes.
Do you think? Correct.
Why?
2015. I've tried to do a bit of drama here on the radio. Try to build it up a little bit.
St Johnson Cup. One.
Yes.
Was Rooney.
Rooney in 2021. Sean Rooney, exactly. He scored in the Scottish Cup and the League Cup, didn't he?
Right.
Yeah.
This is the last
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Any slip up and he'd lose. It's £500. What do you think?
He's now at Kilmarnock. He was at Inverness. I'm sure he scored in the cup final for Inverness.
Mm-hmm.
Marley Watkins.
Oh, wow. You're correct. 2015. Wow. Marley Watkins.
Inverness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sam, you've just won £500 from Scottish Gas and Go Radio.
Amazing. Thanks, Barry.
No worries,
wow.
Mate.
Well, do you know what? I had different ones. I had the likes of Gary Hooper.
Gary Hooper, that's right.
I had Darren Barr.
Wait a minute. Okay. Indeed. That was 2011, 2012. Correct.
I had David Goodwillie, another one.
It was indeed, yeah.
I was swithering between Goodwillie or Conway, but I went with Goodwillie. Alan Thompson. Celtic, no?
Yeah.
Ready?
I know where he played. No, that was a lost.
Was that a wrong?
I know who
Johnny
Alan
Hayes.
Thompson says. Johnny Hayes, yeah. He did indeed. He was in the telly the other night. Well, wait a minute. Hold on. Johnny Hayes, he did indeed. I saw his name for Aberdeen, of course, 2017.
Yeah. Did Jackie Mack score one?
And you said Carter Vickers was last season.
I said Carter Vickers
you did.
last season.
Although, tell everybody, you mentioned Alfie Dorrington. Because some people had it down as an OG. Did you see him the other night?
I was at Grimsby, Salford the other night, and Alfie Dorrington is playing for Salford. Actually played very well, but they get pumped 3-1 with the Grimsby.
Okay, that's enough info. Thank you, Andy. But how the mighty have fallen.
There's one
Alfie.
Hearts, the boy Edwards. Remember?
Wow. Sam, come on and help me out here.
No.
You're going to get £500.
Ryan Edwards.
You chose the right guy, Sam, so well done.
Well done, Sam. What are you going to do with the money? 500 smackers?
Well, I'm going on holiday next month, so I'll go and spend the money for that.
€500 then.
Where are you off to?
Aye, perfect. Going to Benidorm.
Benidorm. Well, do you know, Big Peter at Mercantile Chambers, massive Rangers fan. He was there the other week. He said it was fantastic. So he loved it. Because seeing all the bars and all that, there's live music for families and everything. I remember being there, bumped into Dennis Law. You know that?
The lawman?
Yeah, the lawman was there because I'd just been to the World Cup and he was with ITV and great. Sam, what's going to happen? What about the league, first of all? So you're a Rangers fan. What's your feeling?
I feel it's hard to throw away, really.
Do you think they will throw it away then?
I'm not sure. I think the split's going to be big this year. So I think they'll decide it. But
and if they do,
now,
so do you think that the other big club will, Motherwell are going to nip in there and get it?
Well, hopefully.
Yeah.
But no, I think Hearts the favourites. I think the Old Firm they need to kind of win every game.
Sure. I guess that's the thing. You can't win all the time. Rangers won for years.
You could
Celtic
almost
won
get
13 out of 14.
the fixtures out now, such as the gap
Yes.
between 6 and 7.
That's true. Good idea, so people can plan. Who's your all-time favourite Rangers player, Sam?
Yoga Berts. He's my player, but Barry Ferguson, close second.
Aye. Barry, yeah. You were his favourite Scottish player.
No, he was some player.
Big George.
Big George. Yeah, what a left peg. Yeah, great teammate as well.
Was he? Good laugh.
Aye, great guy. One of the ones where he came in and he bought right into what Rangers meant. And he was a fantastic signing for Rangers.
Good on a night out as well, was he? Good fun.
Aye, the big man, he was always there. He never let us down.
George Alberts, over the years you covered them. Obviously some of the games. Yeah.
Well, there's a goal scoring threat from the middle of the park. I don't know if he scored many inside the box. It was always a 20-30 yarder. Terrific left foot.
What do you make of Danny Röhl then, your manager who, listen, you were 13 points behind. It has been quite a turnaround. Just stumbling maybe near in the last quarter.
Yeah, I think he's done a great job so far. I think definitely we never seen we're going to be in the title race when he came in, so he's got us in the title race, so that's really all he could do. So we'll see what we go into the season. But no, I'm happy so far.
He was asked today how the preparations are going for the big game on Sunday.
You know what you get from the game. You look your own game back. What was good, what we have to improve, and then you prepare the next. We spoke about the good things, we spoke about things what we have to improve. The last training session was good, especially yesterday. Good intensity, good mindset, very focused. Today, we work on some details again, and then we have one more session, and then we go. We go with the belief, we go with the trust. I think this is very crucial, especially the 50 minutes. I think you know better than me. I don't know when was the last time that Rangers dominate Celtic like this in the first 50 minutes, and I think this is the focus where we are and what we want to do over 90 minutes, of course, or 95, and if it's necessary, over 120 minutes. I think this is crucial.
Barry, was it last March, April, wasn't it, at Celtic Park? Eh? Tell say it to Danny. Come on.
That's life.
Who cares, eh? It's all about someone. So scoreline, what do you reckon, Sam?
I think 2-1 Rangers.
2-0 Rangers, 2-1. Okay.
2-1.
Sam, thank you so much for joining us. Enjoy the weekend and enjoy
Well done,
the £500 in Benidorm.
Yep, enjoy yourself, Sam.
Cheers.
Cheers, Barry.
Thank you. Sam in Tollcross winning 500. This is some competition, isn't it?
£500.
I know.
His favourite player was George Alberts.
Shows he's just honest, though, isn't
So
it?
you get one wrong and that's it.
That's it.
No money.
Oh, no.
That's
Gas
pressure.
at a peep. Yeah. Do you want any other name? Jackie McNamara was 2001.
I had Jackie Mack. Yeah.
Okay. Andrea Skerla, Dunfermline.
Yeah.
Alan Thompson, you were right. I owe you an apology.
What was it?
It was
Right.
2005.
I
You're
wasn't out then.
absolutely right. Well done. Rudy Scatchell, the Hearts we mentioned. Dumbe, you mentioned earlier.
Jean-Joël
Yeah.
Perrier-Doumbé.
Yeah.
Remember that, yeah.
Ki Sung-young, 2011. Darren Barr, Gary Hooper, Stephen Anderson, St Johnson in 2014. Anthony Stokes, you mentioned Barry, Johnny Hayes. Callum McGregor, 2018. Scored the first one. Yeah. Remember that one? No. Who else? Ryan Christie, 2020. Sean Rooney, you mentioned. Ryan Jack. Kyogo in the game just a few years ago. That was the Inverness one, wasn't it? Billy Dodds in charge up against Angelos Postecoglou. Last game for Celtic. And then Alfie Dorrington, if you gave it. You prefer to give it to the attacking player, and it was Carter Vickers.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much. The score predictor will be back next week. Your man didn't win last week, Barry. Remember, the Rangers fan? It just didn't happen for him. There was, I think he thought.
What did they get? How many out of?
I think he got 4.
4.
Yeah. And obviously he thought Rangers were going to win. At half time, he must have been getting the kettle on.
I can remember playing a game at Ibrox. We were 2-0 up, and it was that game where my good friend Frank was sent off because he had no composure, he had no discipline.
Frank McAvenny, who's listening at the moment.
Yeah, he's just texted me. And who else was sent off? Terry Butcher was sent off, and Chris Woods was sent off. Anyway, we were 2-0 up.
Was that game?
And
were you
Rangers got a last minute equaliser with Richard Gough, I think. And it was 2-2, so we got a point, but we felt as though we'd lost the game. Such was the big turnaround.
They still don't speak to each other, do they?
Who?
Frank McAvenny and Butcher.
I didn't know.
Still
No.
don't see eye to eye.
Really?
Oh dear.
Frank would speak to anyone.
Aye.
Apart from El Frank's listening at the moment. He's made the switch.
I remember that game. Young Pup was at the game. It was a good game.
Brilliant game.
Aye, the atmosphere was
Brilliant.
Was amazing as normal.
Right, what about the other games then? I want your predictions. Score predictor will be back, as I mentioned, next week with Sheffield Timber for the league games. So what about tomorrow then? Motherwell playing up at Dundee. Barry, what do you think is going to happen there? Motherwell's record's amazing.
I think it'll be a good game. Look, a lot's spoken about Motherwell, and rightly so. But I think Stephen Presley's done a really good job. They were one of the favourites to go down. I think it'll be a really good football game, but I think Motherwell, just with the confidence they've got, I'll just edge it.
Aswinisi got another couple of goals last week. What
I'm going to go for
a
a draw there, just a little slip from Motherwell. I know they'll be huge favourites, and I have said before that all the clubs will drop points. So I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw.
I'll be Andy banned from third part as
and
well.
Your old team,
Celtic part.
Well, because the record 18 goals. We know the story, and so many clean sheets as well.
It's astonishing.
If they do win tomorrow, do they play ahead of the Old Firm next weekend ahead of Celtic and Rangers? They could go second.
Good question.
Yeah, I read that today in your paper, Barry, so it must be true. Okay, so you're going for the draw on that one.
I'll go Motherwell.
What about the cup games then tonight, Barry? You love your Friday night football. Falkirk against Dundee United. What a game for both of them. I mean, Falkirk very much in our area here. Stephen McGinn there in assisting along with Paul and, of course, John McGlynn, the manager.
And had a brilliant season.
Aye. What about last weekend?
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, I know, that was a sore one for Neil McCann and Dodgy. Great result for Falkirk, right enough. Dundee United, good result midweek against St Mirren. I think it's going to be close. I'm just going to say Falkirk will ledge it.
Going for the Bairns. Andy, what do you reckon?
I'm going to go for another shock. I'm going for Dundee United just to win a physical game. 2-1 for United.
Wow. Because, I mean, Falkirk, I was going to say to you, could they be the outsides? You know, either Rangers or Celtic will go through. And what a chance for...
What a chance.
Isn't it, for all of these
teams? This is a great draw
for
everyone in the quarterfinals. Rangers playing Celtic. One going out, and of course you've always got a chance of... progressing in the cup all the way to the final. Who knows what could happen?
So what about Saturday then? Tomorrow, Dunfermline against Aberdeen. We all saw on Sky the other night, you could see Neil Lennon up there at Pittodrie watching Aberdeen, the cup holders.
I think he might lead his team to a win. I'm going for is that a shock? Dunfermline beat? Of course it is. They're a championship side. They're playing a premiership team. They're playing the cup holders. I think Dunfermline will win. 1-0.
Right. Barry, what do you feel?
Yeah.
Do you?
I fancied Dunfermline.
Wow.
Yep.
So that would be
brilliant result from last week. Dunfermline.
She was.
I just watched Aberdeen again against Celtic and didn't offer anything. Really didn't. But at home, normally that's a tough place to go. I just felt in the second half that Celtic weren't even at their best, and I just felt they were comfortable within the game.
A collection of individuals rather than a team. Barry, that's what it looks like, isn't it?
I don't know, it's hard for Peter leaving because he's come in. It's tough and it's strange that they've still not named a manager. I know they want to get it right, but the amount of investment, what is it, £26 million or something he's put into the playing squad. It's a lot of money. And I think Andy pointed out at the start of the show, in form, they're bottom of the league. The last 12 games, right. I think, or 13 games.
Yeah. And Dunfermline, you saw the lift that it got playing at home against Hibs in a previous round. They come up with a victory there. Neil Lennon, I'm sure, will have them fired up. But there'll be a great crowd there, a great atmosphere. But of course, Aberdeen are the cup holders. You do expect them to have something. But no, I'm going for another shock. 1-0 Dunfermline.
It must be horrible if you've got the trophy there, you know, at the start of the day, or today when they come down for the game, and then if you lose it, must be murder. Anyway,
all the pressure's on Aberdeen.
St Mirren against Partick Thistle, the only team in Scotland at the moment, the Saints, with a trophy in that cabinet. So who's going to win tomorrow?
I'm going for another shock. I'm going for Thistle to win. I think St Mirren are struggling. I think they're struggling badly. Thistle, there's something about them. It's 150 years, a lot of celebration going on around that club. They're doing well in the Championship. Maybe just St Johnstone, maybe just a bit too far ahead for them, but they'll have a chance in the playoffs, and I think they might be able to get to the semi-final, get to Hampden.
Good game to go to, though, isn't it? Scoreline, what do you reckon then?
2-1 for the Jags.
2-1. Barry, what do you feel? St Mirren Park tomorrow night?
That's a tough one.
Yeah. But the Smizer, isn't it?
Yeah, but the Smizer. What would St Mirren take? Going out tomorrow and been still in the Premier League?
Stay in the Premier League. Andy?
And I think they're in a position that's between them and Kilmarnock now. But anyway, this game tomorrow, I think I've got a sneaky feeling, same as Andy, Partick Thistle.
Are you? Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay. So you're going for that.
And it's amazing because before they won the cup final, St Mirren, I would have said they were stick-ons for top six.
Solid.
Yep, and I just liked just the way they went about their business, the way they were coached, well set up, and it's amazing what's happened over the last couple of months.
Quick break and then we're back. What's the countdown now? What do the guys think for Rangers Celtic? That's coming next.
Deal Football Show with Burger King.
Just chatting there just about some of the great characters. Ray Wilkins. So you were encouraged after one of the altercations.
Well, that game that I was mentioning earlier, where we were 2-0 up and 3 were sent off, and it finished 2-2. And these players went to core. And the next game that we played was at Parkhead in the New Year's game. And the police came in and spoke to us and said, we need to calm things down. You need to show everyone that you're very respectful of one another.
Was it the chief tell you?
Yeah, and we were encouraged to go into the opposition half and maybe exchange a pass or two with your opponents. There's nothing riding on a warm-up. So I used to warm up with wee Joe all the time, Joe Miller. We'd exchange passes, and then I was chasing one of these balls near the halfway line. I thought, well, there's Ray Wilkins. I'll go and give him a wee touch, and we might just jog down for 10, 20 yards, exchange a couple of passes. So I shouted on him, hey, just roll the ball into his path. He must have booted it about 100 yards and told me where to go.
Yeah, jog on.
Honestly, I can't believe when he was telling me that off air. But Ray Wilkins, what a player, but he's been way up my estimations with that.
He was such he used to come into Scott Sport. I mean, he's a superstar, wasn't he?
Aye, class act. He was immaculate every time you met him. And always good chat. What a career.
Wow, I know.
What a football player.
Yeah.
Barry, I'm not saying did you model yourself on him, but you must have seen so much.
No, just as a kid watching him and where he had played. England international, been at World Cups, played at AC Milan. And at what age did they come to Rangers? Was it 33, 34, I think it was?
About that.
And just a beautiful football player.
It was him and Trevor Francis. That's right.
Yep.
Same time.
Because one time coming back from, I think it was in Poland with Rangers on the team flight, and Archie McPherson must say, but Paul lives in Bothwell, he's got the car there. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. And he said, will you drop off Trevor Francis? And I always remember, he was so humble. He's got Britain's first £1 million player. Yeah. And he's asking, Paul, how do you think I played? Well, I haven't a clue. No, but it was so humble.
He's not with us anymore.
Yeah, I know, absolutely. Again, he died very young. So we've been so blessed with some of the people we've had, and I love the fact you can laugh about it, and I hope the fans can as well. There's no point in going back to who did what. Who is the referee this weekend?
Don Robertson.
Is it Don Robertson? You happy enough with that, Barry? Did you?
If you had any big game, and I know that everybody thinks we've got a terrible bunch of referees, and we have had some some strange decisions in recent weeks, but I think Don Robertson's maybe the best of the lot.
On transfer, Barry, you happy with it, Don Robertson?
Yeah, we'll see. I'll tell you after the game.
Did it not work out this time? Did you not?
He only likes him if he gives him a break.
John Beaton did really well, didn't he? Would that be fair?
Yep.
You hardly saw him really, just at the end.
That's what you want to see with referees. I just think referees want to get involved and just referee the game and let the game flow a wee bit.
Every Celtic fan will thank you for VAR.
Indeed, this is the thing. You're right.
That
sure,
penalty.
I know, because nobody in the ground did.
You need to get rid of her.
It is thing. You could condense the programme into 3 minutes, isn't it? Barry goes, "It's blue for me." Andy goes, "Yeah, no, it's not the case with either of you. You're always really fair." I met a great couple in Aberdeen about Kilt Walk, Eric and Ruth. And he is Rangers daft, Barry, and he enjoyed watching you. And I've got them tuned in now to the programme as well. Great couple. Good. The story will be on Kilt Walk soon with the Aberdeen Kilt Walk, but he's from the Stornoway. They're from, but It's amazing how football. It's such a unifying thing.
Yeah, it touches so many people, and some of the stories you get from supporters that make an unbelievable effort to get to games. It's remarkable sometimes.
So, countdowns on to the game. A couple of other things on the go today. Work to transform Lennoxtown is completed. I see it's ready. Is it going to make any difference? Does it make you a better team, Andy?
Great to have facilities, but I think even better to have top-class players.
Martin Boyle set to leave Hibs at the end of the season, apparently. And in the transfer market, Barry, which is just, you know what it is. They're saying Arnie Engels is up 7 million. He's now worth 15.6 million. They say that Emmanuel Fernandez is up 6.5 million to 7.8, so almost 8 million. Don't know if that means anything at all. Any thoughts?
No, what is this? What?
This is what they're valuing the Scottish players in Scotland.
What did Celtic just knock back for?
Indeed, 12, wasn't it?
No.
Was it more?
20 plus.
Was it?
20
okay.
plus.
I've been away for 2 days. And talks going on between Rangers and Tottenham about extending Mikey Moore's loan spell at Ibrox. Will Kieran Tierney play, for example, from the start? Andy mentioned it earlier in the week. Some people did as well. And Kieran Tierney, he could be fit for Sunday for Celtic, but he may not be. We don't quite. We did play Martin Neal speaking about him earlier, didn't we? And Conor Barron could be on the field soon for Rangers. Barry, what's the news?
Yeah, he's had a full training week. It's good to see him back. I said previous, Paul, before he got the knee injury, he was Rangers' best player for a couple of months. He was really growing, and obviously it was disappointing that he got the knee injury. Was out for 6 to 8 weeks, but good to see him back. Again, that adds to competition for places in the middle of the pitch.
Right, final words from the two managers before we get your final thoughts on it. Danny Röhl was asked, right, so that first half was amazing, second half not so much. Has your team got the belief required for this Sunday?
No, not really.
Well, he's obviously not said that. The question has obviously been, has he any doubts?
Do you know, that's a wind-up, isn't it?
No. Has he any doubts about his team?
Is that James?
No, not really.
Is that Gary?
No. Has he any doubts? Here we go again.
No, not really. We are still in a race. Of course, we are disappointed after this late equalizer. We know that we have to improve, especially then, in the second half. But we know as well we had a big chance for the 3-0, and then we would not speak about this today. But football is football. It's about decision makings. It's about focus, what we can influence. And I see a group who's really ready to go again, and have also the belief that we can beat them.
Martin O'Neill, so they reckon that his team can win. Martin O'Neill, then, what about the comeback last week?
Yeah, I think we should. I mean, it's not that long ago, obviously, so I think that would be important for us if we play like we did in the first half. We shouldn't turn up then, but the second half gave us great confidence, I think, and the ability to know that we can fight back. And I think it was testament to the players' character, I think, as much as anything else.
So, 3 minutes left. Who are going to be the key players for this weekend? Rangers, the home team, Barry. Who are you looking to, thinking you've really got to be on it today?
The one that stands out for me, and I thought he was unplayable at times last week, was Mikey Moore. Yeah, if he's on it, just feed him the ball. Just give him it and let him go and work his magic. So, yeah, I'd be looking at Mikey Moore. And that's amazing to say that, because you look at the start, his career up here, a lot of people were questioning it. And you've got to remember, he was only 17, Paul. And I've said it plenty of times, you come up here a boy and now he's turned into a man. And for me, he's a difference maker for Rangers.
Do you agree with that, Andy? You'll be looking out for him. Chermiti as well, there'll be a lot of eyes on him.
Yeah, and I think that's why if Ben Arthur is going to play, wow, what an introduction to this game, and up against a quality opponent. So he needs to be on top form, needs to have that understanding established very quickly with, I'm assuming, Liam Scales. The other one is Negrin, Benjamin Negrin, who didn't play the other night, but he came on and he got a goal, he got the winner. So he's another one who he rarely looks outstanding, but he gets a lot of goals. So I'm going to go for Celtic to win on penalties.
On penalties?
Yeah.
Wow. It's going full afternoon. Barry,
it's a long afternoon.
Yep. Strap yourself in.
Barry, you like it 95 minutes rather than...
Yep.
Yeah. What do you feel? What's going to happen?
I just think with home advantage, Rangers have got to really make sure that feeling after the game doesn't happen again on Sunday, and try and show that you can perform like that for a longer period of time. I don't think it's going to be an easy one for Rangers. I think Celtic have obviously gained confidence with getting, that second half performance, getting a point, going up to a tough place, Aberdeen, on a Wednesday night. I think it'll be close, but I think there's goals in it, and I'm going to go 3-2 Rangers.
3-2, that would be some game.
Yeah,
Great drama.
I think there is going to be drama in it as well.
Let's hope it's not the VAR type of drama. But listen, it's almost inevitable these days, isn't it?
It's inevitable, Paul. It's part of the game. And even if you don't get a favourable decision, a lot of people say it's a stick-on red card, it's a stick-on penalty. Yeah. All of these things are just opinion.
Well, thanks for your opinion tonight, Andy and Barry.
Cheers, Paul.
Back again on Monday. Thank you, you two. Have a great time. We'll be back on Monday when we'll know who's through. What is it going to be, Rangers or Celtic, and all the other games as well. Have a brilliant weekend. Zoe's up next. Thanks to everyone who was on. We're back on Monday at 5.